Grab your bookmarks, Wargamers, because we're picking up right where we left off with the story of our heroes, our plucky adventurers, spelunking down into the dungeons below Castle Meat Grinder, and what a meat grinder it has been. We are starting off with just 4 of our heroes, 4 of the 8. Who knew that Castle Meat Grinder was home to the Super Orcs? The next order of business is to figure out which one of these 5 cards we want to reveal next. We're going to go ahead and bypass these. Let me show you over here. There's another special feature over here in the Sand Cave. Our boys want to get to the good stuff. They want to get to the loot. They want to see what is in this central room right here. The giant slime beast was here. The Super Orcs defended this table with heroic valor, but eventually, after taking out half our adventurers, they just proved too much for the green-skinned menace. We're going to let our dwarfy boy take up the lead. We're going to have a straight shot with our wizard, and then a shot with our elf, and we'll bring up the rear with our henchman, who is also a pretty good archer. In this room is, oh boy, death cultists. There's going to be 4 of them, so I got to roll 4 dice to figure out which 4 death cultists are there. In addition to the 4, I'm going to go ahead and drop this dais of power. See all the skulls right there? Let's see if we can focus her in just a little bit. No? No? We don't like it? Okay, there we go. In addition to the 4 death cultists, I'm going to have this place of power. It's a raise point. It's we're just going to drop that right in the middle. And then we're going to roll 4 dice. And wherever the dice land, that's where our cultists are going to start. And well, as long as they're in the room, I still got to start them in the room. There we go. So we got a 2, so we've got 2 warriors, we've got a mage, and an assassin. Let me grab those figures, we'll drop them down, and we'll start the fight. And here we go, just so you can see the difference between these guys. We've got a couple of the gold mask guys, those are going to be our cultists. Our shrugging wizard here, who's T-posing on the heroes, is a mage, and then this little fella here who wants to remain hidden. I think he might have been a zombie first, but he looks so much like the rest of these cultists. And also he's carrying a book, so I could be wrong about that. I'm not sure where these guys come from. This guy looks like, I think alternative armies on this guy at least. Probably that guy. I think these guys come from ironwinds.com. I think they're old Parthosculpts maybe. At any rate, there you go. There's your bad guy. I'm going to leave their roster right here so you can see what they're capable of and try to roll the dice either down in this area or maybe over there so you can see them as they come up. This is a place of power. Any magic user, either Carletto or this mage, he's also a mutant and a sorcerer. Anybody that's standing on there, not only do they get a +1 to their combat skill, but they are automatically granted 1 success when they cast a spell. So we got to figure out who attacks first, and that's just a straight up initiative roll. Green means good, red means stop being so evil. So the good guys get to go first. And I'll leave like I said, I'm going to leave the card here so you guys can appreciate what they're doing. First we're going to start with Axeman. This is our dwarf hero. He's going to he's an elite warrior, not a hero, I should say. He's going to take all 3 actions. He activates on a 3+, and with all 3 actions, he's going to be able to make a short move here, and he's going to be able to attack that mage. Now, that mutant sorcerer is in big trouble because he gets a -1. He can use 2 attacks to make a power attack, so he's rolling at a 1. Our dwarf elite, his name is Zai, he's rolling at a 4. Green is always good. He gets a 7. He gets a 3, so he's got a back off 1, which is not what we were hoping for. We're going to use our elf hero here to take a shot at that fanatic. And with 2 successes, he's going to be able to take an aimed shot. So that fanatic is now fighting. No, I'm sorry, he's a warrior. He's fighting at a 3. He has heavy armor, you see. So he's fighting at a 3. Our elf hero is also shooting at a 3, and we get some typical results. 6 versus a 4 is no effect. Because it's a long-range shot, the fact that the bad guys won doesn't mean anything. We now have another chance to take a shot with this archer, and we're going to roll for 3 successes. We get 2, and that means we get to take 2 shots. Excuse me, one shot at +1. Pretty open line of sight. It's going to be +3 there is for a 5. With an aim shot, that becomes a 4, that becomes an 8, so that warrior actually survives the shot. And the last thing we're going to do is try to ensorcel this warrior. Our wizard is going to try to get 3 successes. He only gets 1, which means he can only cast at a short range. He's got it. And this fella here, on a 1, 2, or 3, becomes transfixed. He does not, so that was kind of a wasted spell. Probably should have run up here, bro. But it doesn't matter. It is now on to Team Evil's turn. And I guess we'll go ahead and start with the dwarf has quality 3+. He's going to go ahead and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and he's going to make 3 actions. Oh, man, I think he can't move and shoot. So he's going to just make 1 action. He activates on a 3+, and on a 2, he does not activate. We're going to go ahead and try to activate this guy twice, and he fails both times, so the heroes get to go again. Good deal. We're going to start off just like we did before. Our dwarf is going to challenge him. He gets a total of 3 successes, so he can make contact and take a swing. And again, that's going to be fighting at a +1. Excuse me, it's going to be a d6 +1 for him, and a d6 +4 for him. So it's a 7 and a 7, so it's a tie. Wow, our elite melee is getting clowned by this Death Cult wizard. But we have another chance. He's going to take a shot over here. Wow, that's pretty good. He actually activates on a 2+. He is an elf hero after all, which means he gets 3 successes, so he can move up or he can take an aim shot. I guess what we'll do is we'll kind of move up to protect our wizard. We'll take that aim shot, and that's going to be at a 3+, 3 versus 3. And we get a 6, and we get a nothing, and then he's going to... We're going to try to do the ensorceling thing on this guy again 3 times. We get 2 successes now. So he has to pass 2 quality checks. 4+. And he only passes 1. That failure right there means he is ensorcelled. Which is good news, because he gets a +2 on his shooting. First, let's go ahead and roll all 3 dice. And he gets 1 success, so he does not get to take an aimed shot, but he does get to fight at a 5 versus this ensorcelled fella's 4. So it is a tie score. No, it is not. He is fighting at a 4. I'm sorry. 6 versus 5. He is ensorcelled, which makes that a lethal blow. So that warrior goes down. Next up. That's it. It's the cultist's turn. We're going to try to move this assassin. And he gets 2 successes. Oh, he actually, yep. So he's going to go 1 to here and 1 to back here. He's going to try to sneak around for the backstab. 2 successes means he gets to take a shot. And he's going to take 3 actions. Oh, good for him. Good for him. He's got enough so he can run over here and say, leave my boss alone. Now our dwarf hero is fighting. He's outnumbered, so he's going to be fighting with a combat skill of 3. Our warrior is fighting with a combat skill of 4. Oh, how you like it? How you like it? That's a 7 versus a 6. He gets knocked to the ground. And now our wizard is stuck rolling 3 dice to see what he does. Oh, he gets 3 actions. Can't cast a spell in melee. I don't think. Let's take a look. Anytime a mutant gets 2 or more successes, roll a die. The sorcerer is a mutant. He is also a mutant. We got to remember that. Roll a die on a d6. Nope. On a roll of a 6, he doesn't do anything. He just mutates. So he can get, like, his quality can be reduced, or he can become tough, or he gets the terror rule. He can become, like, hideous or ugly, scare off his opponents. He doesn't do that this time. He just gets to make an attack at a +1, so that mage is now fighting at a 3 versus the dwarf's 4. And that is going to be a 9 versus a 4. A Dublin, that's a Dublin, is a lethal attack. And because he is classified as the leader, I think. So we zotted him. That was the wizard attack. That's the end of the turn. The dead do not outnumber the living. They don't actually have a leader. So we're just going to keep on trucking. Mr. Elf is going to make 3 actions. Ooh, he's got 2 failures, so he only gets to make 1 action. He's going to close with him on a 2+. You couldn't do it, huh? All right, well, the cultists, they're fanatical. Notice how he's got stealth, so he's going to take his 2 actions, activates on a 3+. He's going to run around 1, and he's going to run around 2, and he's going to hide right around this corner to try and split them up. And then this guy's going to roll all 3 actions. He gets 1, 2 actions, so he can stand up and take a whack at the elf this time. He's going to be attacking at a 3 because he's outnumbered. It's a -1 because the dwarf is supporting Mr. Elf. And, fighting side by side with a friend. The elf has a combat skill of 3, so this is an even roll, 3 + 3. The cultist wins with an 8 versus a 5. This means he gets pushed back. And now that was good for him because the dwarf is going to go. And the dwarf is going to try for 3. He's going to get 2 actions, so he gets a power blow. So this is going to be another case where the warrior is fighting at a 3, and our dwarf is fighting at a 4. 10 versus 5, that's a Dublin. He is now out of the game. And we have a chance for this archer to slide on over. That's 1. And, he can take an aimed shot. So our little assassin here, he's adorable. He gets a +1, and he gets a +3 for the archer. So that's going to be a 6 versus a 9, and he goes, whoa, 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 and he backs off. That's the odd result. Means you disengage by 1. So our wizard is going to take his 3 actions. He's only going to get 1, but that is enough to have him step up onto the place of power and say, why don't you come on and show yourself so I can transfix you with my ray of transfixiation. The assassin gets to go. It's just him. He activates on a 3+, so he's going to use 1 action to close with this archer and 1 action to attack. He gets a +2, archer gets a +3, and that's how we do. 7 versus 5. Anytime an assassin wins, that's lethal. So our archer, that archer was good old Jerry. Jerry fought the good fight, just didn't have it in him. Turning for free. Let's see if our archer can avenge his archer friend. He gets 2 actions, so he gets a +1. So he's fighting at a 1. Our archer is shooting. That is Dar Tamart. And Dar is going to be fighting at he got a 4. So that's a 6 versus a 9. He's got to back off 1 base width. Okay, be that as it may. Our dwarf now is going to take 2 actions. He's going to cycle on over here for 1 action. And, he's just going to hang out right there. I'm good. He's just going to protect the archer. And I guess we'll leave Mr. Wizard sitting over. Every time you cast a spell, which he transfixed a guy, I should have rolled a d6 to see if reinforcements come. But I didn't. Go on the internet and complain about it. He's going to go ahead and close with the dwarf. That's all he can do. So on the hero's turn, our archer is actually going to go first. He activates on a 2+. And he gets 1 move. He gets a power blow. So this guy is rolling a straight d6. Normally fighting at a 2 because he's outnumbered. It's -1. It's -1 for the power blow. And our elf gets a +3. So that's going to be a 4. 4 versus a 5, and our assassin is not impressed. Sorry, Dar Tomart, just not your day. We'll see if our dwarf, he gets 2 actions for a power blow, so it's going to be a +1 versus a +4 for Mr. Zai. And that's going to be +1 makes this a 6, +4 makes this a 6. You almost died. You almost died. There's no line of sight, so he's got to come down. We're going to roll 3 actions, and one of them is going to be a spell. So he's going to come down off the place of power. Probably should have come over and helped. And he's going to use 1 to try and transfix this fella. And he's going to succeed. So he needs to roll 2 successes. And he gets his 2 successes, so he's not transfixed anymore, but that's the end of his turn. So straight combat now. 3 actions for the dwarf. He's only going to get 1 action. So it's a 3 versus a 2. And you better win, because, man, these assassins, there you go. 9 versus 3 is a savage kill. Oh, it's brutal. Oh, all his friends are going to run away, except all his friends are already dead. There is 1 more card. Oh, you know, if he casts a spell, let's go see if, let's see if reinforcements come. 5, they did not. Okay. So now the question is, should we go ahead? Let's push our luck. Let's push our luck. You know, the purpose of this game was to see how far our 500 points worth of dudes could make it. So let's walk them over here and see what's behind door number 1, 2, or 3. We're going to do this one next. Let me move the camera over. All right, here we go. Oh, this is my graveyard. Fallen heroes and foes alike. You'll have to forgive the shadow over here. I forgot my tripod. I'm actually using a music stand as my tripod today. So a little dark, but that's okay. The action is taking place over here, and the action is going to include 3 great apes for 120 points worth of dudes. And in this case, our fight, that's going to be 90 points worth of heroes versus 120 points worth of great beasts. And there's 3 of them. So I got to roll 3 dice. Where are my dice? Here we go. So this must be like the menagerie. And we're going to have to roll that one. Okay. 4, 4, 5. So that means we got 3 white apes. They are big acrobatic animals. And here's what they look like up close and personal. 3 white apes in 15 millimeters. As usual, we're going to drop them right where the die drops. Like so, and like so. Outnumbered, outgunned. Oh boy. This is going to be a fun one. Those apes, they ain't no slouch either. 3-3. Good news is they're big, so when you shoot, that includes with the spell, you get a +1. I think the only thing for it, first we have to roll for initiative to see who goes first. It's a straight die roll, and of course the apes get to go first, so we'll bring up, now these are all white apes, so we'll bring up this guy first. They activate on a 3+. He gets 3 actions. So we'll measure our distance here. It's going to be medium. So he gets to run up and take a big honking wild swing. Now the good news is it's a bottleneck, so only 1 can attack at a time. It's going to be interesting. It's probably going to devolve into a bit of a roll-off, but hey, rolling dice is what we're here for, ain't it? So, dwarf versus white ape. And acrobat, I believe that means you get a free disengage. Not going to be an issue this time. What do we do here? So our dwarf is going to be fighting with a combat of 4. Our ape with a combat of 3. Oh, no, it's going to be 3-on-3 because he had 2 actions, so he can do a power blow. It's going to be straight roll, +3, +3. 7 versus a 9 is a knockdown, which would be great, except there's still 2 more fat boys. He's going to run up and take the place of his fallen foe. That's all he can do, though. Things move on to our dwarf hero, who gets 3 actions. So he gets to make his big attack. We're going to roll, that's going to be a +2 on the red and a +4 on the green. Okay, so 5 versus 6, and the dwarf falls, which leaves it up to Carletto to try and transfix. He gets 2 successes, so that ape now needs to roll a 3+, and he does it twice, which means it's now the great ape's turn. The ape that has fallen is first going to try to stand up, and he's going to fail. This other ape is going to say, oh, I want to go. And he gets 3 failures. Oh, what a fortunate, you know what, we're just not even going to use that. I'm going to get it out of the way. Our adventurers aren't going to have time to look at it. What a fortunate turn of events. It gives our fallen dwarf a chance to stand up. And with 3 actions, not only is he going to stand up, he is going to have 2 actions left over to make a power blow, which turns this combat into a +4 versus a +2. Not that it's ever done him any good, and not that it's going to do him any good again. All that's going to happen is he's going to get pushed back. But at least Carletto can take 3 actions to slide over to open up and try and transfix. He's going to use that last pip, and with a 4+, that white ape is unimpressed. So we'll start by trying to stand that ape up. 3+, that's a 6 over there, so he can stand up at least. And now the ape in front is going to take all 3 actions. Activates on a 3+. All he can do is get close and swing away. So it's going to be +4 versus +3, 9 versus a 6. Pushes him back. He can take a turn. And with 3 actions, he can use one of them to move up, and the other one to turn this combat into a +3 against a +3. And with a 9 versus a 4, that's a Dublin. That is going to be the end of Zai, one of our MVPs for this delve into Castle Meat Grinder. The wizard gets to take a turn. And oh look, he gets 2 actions. And he is going to do, you know, he's a pretty smart guy. So he is going to hoof it. We're going to go ahead and finish off this delve with a bit of a foot race. Our wizard runs off to there for his turn. Let's see who can get to the exit first, or if these apes can catch him. The first ape is going to try for 3. He's only going to get, oh, I think he's going to make it. I think our wizard is going to successfully beat feet, pound sand, and get out of here, because those 2 failures mean the wizard gets another shot. 3 actions. He activates on a 4, so he only gets to run twice. So we're going to run him to here, and we're going to run him to here. Now he's got to get all the way off the board, because that'll make this a lot more fun. Let's start with this ape. He's the closest. He gets 2 actions, so he can run up over there for his first, and he can run right over there. Now, the way movement works, you put your stick down touching the guy, and you put your guy down touching the stick, pretty much wherever you want. So that's how you can kind of hook it around corners real quick. Let's see the second ape. He's just off screen. He's going to roll. He only gets 1 movement. So we'll bring him up there. And with those 2 failures, it is now Carletto's turn. He needs 2 successes to clear the board. He only gets 1. Slide this over here. So it's hard to run when you're wearing robes. We'll start with the most likely guy to stop him. I should put, this is actually right here. And he gets 2 successes. So the first one goes here, and the second one goes here. You adventurers, get off my lawn. And then we'll go ahead and try the guy who you can see just off screen. He's going to get all 3 successes. So he's going to come up once. He's going to come up twice. And he's going to come up 3 times a great ape. Oh, I hope I don't get a copyright strike. Fair use, my bro. Fair use. 2 successes for this guy way back here who says, hey, wait for me, guys. I want to play too. If you're playing Whack-A-Mage, I want to play. Now, this is it for all the marbles. Mr. Mage needs a success if he's going to survive. He gets 3 successes. Oh, he just clears. He just made it. Oh, Carletto. Now, the good news is Carletto has a vague idea of what's in here what's in the dungeon so he can go back and recruit another band of adventurers. He can take whatever gold he found to buy some fancy gravestones for all of his fallen foes, like poor old Zai the dwarf. He can start a college fund for Zai's kids who want to go into underwater basket weaving, which is doubly embarrassing if you're a dwarf. Oh my god. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? You're a dwarf, his kid's like, I want to go into elf studies, elf art studies. That's it. So we got through a grand total of, I'm going to grab those other cards here real quick. Our 500 points of Hero Boys were able to, well, they didn't quite beat any of the Great Apes. Those were too much. They got through 200 points of Death Cultists, 100 points of that hideous beast, and another 200 points of Orcs. So 500 points of heroes were able to put paid to 500 points of monsters, which is a little embarrassing given that you had very few points initially against a whole lot of points. I wonder if maybe the tight confines were bad for our adventurers and really did them a disservice. Either way, it doesn't matter. We had a great time. We got a lot of fun and adventure out of this. And the other thing is, it's worth pointing out, you guys have now seen more of the dungeon, but the question is, what? Oh, I gotta cover that up because we don't want to spoil it. What's over here? Can you imagine? You're gonna have to, at least until we take another run through the dungeon. Spoiler alert, there's actually an entrance there. We may actually start over there so you can finally, regardless of how badly our adventurers shank the adventure, you can see what those last two rooms look like. But you'll have to tune in later, another day for that. In the meantime, I'm praying for you.